All right, we are moving on to our third page of our study guide. So we're getting close to the end now. We only have 2 problems that you're doing tonight. Hopefully you've already solved these problems, written it out, and now you're just coming in and you're checking it over. So let's look at number 15. Jessie is solving a multiplication problem on her math test. She thinks she made a mistake in finding the product. Use what you know about multiplication and estimation to explain to Jessie why her product is unreasonable. So, I'm going to use what I know about multiplication and estimation to explain why her product is unreasonable. So I'm not actually telling her what her mistake is. I'm telling her how she can figure out that her product is unreasonable. So I'm going to try to figure out, I'm going to look over here. I want to know what's going on, okay? So I'm going to look at 457 times 83. And I know that this looks really weird. So I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to go ahead and solve it on my own just to get my bearings with this problem. I see that 3 times 7 is 21. Carry your 2, bring down your 1. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17. Carry your 1, bring down your 7. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Now I'm going to 0 and cross out and move on to my 8. 8 times 7 is 56. Carry the 5, bring down the 6. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 5 is 45. And 8 times 4 is 32, plus 4 is 36. 7 plus 6 is 13. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, and 3. All right, so the answer should be 37,931, but they got 3,373,081. A very, very different number, right? So what I need to do is I need to explain why her product is unreasonable. They want me to use what I know about multiplication and estimation to solve this problem. So right away when I'm looking at this, well, I can see right here this number 21. And I can see this number here 45. And I can see this number here 12. And then I see this number here, 56. I see a 48. And I see a 32. So right away, what I'm thinking is that they didn't carry any of their numbers. And I think that's definitely where their mistake was made. There's no carry. They wrote everything down here, which got them a really crazy answer. So in my explanation, for part of my explanation, I'm going to talk about how I know that they didn't carry their numbers. And so I know that their answer is unreasonable. And they also want me to use estimation. Well, if I use estimation, I'm going to round these numbers. So 457 can be rounded to 500. And 83 can be rounded to 100. And if I multiply together 500 and 100, well, I can do that really easy. And I can say 5 times 1 is 5. And then I can add my zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my estimated answer is 50,000. That's still a whole lot lower than 3,373,081. So I'm also going to use my estimated answer to help me explain to Jessie why her product is unreasonable. So as long as I say something about using estimation and something about how I can see that there's an error maybe in carrying, then I think I'm going to have a really good answer. I'm going to use P of Q to help me. So Jessie is solving a multiplication problem. Explain to Jessie why her product is unreasonable. So I'm going to start off by saying, Jessie's product is unreasonable. I know this because of 2 reasons. First, I can see that Jessie did not carry any of her numbers. I know this error will cause her to get an incorrect answer. I also can use estimation to see she made a mistake. And I'm going to explain that a little bit more. If you round 457 to 500 and 83 to 100, you will see that her answer should be around 50,000, because 500 times 100 equals 50,000. Therefore, Jessie's answer of 3,373,081 is unreasonable. And I'm going to go back and read it to make sure it makes sense. Jessie's product is unreasonable. I know this because of two reasons. First, I can see that Jessie did not carry any of her numbers. I know this error will cause her to get an incorrect answer. I also can use estimation to see she made a mistake. If you round 457 to 500 and 83 to 100, you will see that her answer should be around 50,000. Because 500 times 100 equals 50,000. Therefore, Jessie's answer of 3,373,081 is unreasonable. Your answer does not have to sound just like my answer. Your answer needs to sound like you. All I need to see is that you've said something about how she made a multiplication error, and you said something about how you can use estimation to check to see that it's unreasonable. As long as you said something about both of those things, you will get the answer correct. All right, moving on to number 16. Tom sold his baseball card collection and received $200. Then he spent 1/10 of his money on a new football. Use what you know about place value and the model below to figure out how much the football cost. Use the model to show your thinking. All right, so Tom's going to sell his baseball cards and he's going to get $200. He's going to spend 1/10 of his money on a new football. So, if I know that 1/10 is a fraction telling me 1 out of 10 pieces, I'm going to use this model to help me. So I see that they say the whole model represents $200. And they say that this square here is going to represent 1/10. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 squares, so that would make sense that one square represents 1/10 because it's 1 out of 10 pieces. So it only wants me to figure out what this one piece is. So they took this 200, this whole long rectangle, and they split it up. They divided it into 10 pieces. And I just need to figure out what one piece is worth. I'm using the model to show my thinking. So this is a division problem. They took this long rectangle and they divided it into 10 pieces to show what 1/10 of the whole model would be. So I need to do 200 divided by 10. Well, I could solve this out using partial quotients, but why not work smarter, not harder, and use my zero trick? If I take a 0 off here, I can take a 0 off here. and that becomes 20 divided by 1. If I take a 0 off here and a 0 off here, I get 20 divided by 1. And any number divided by 1 will always equal 20. So I would guess that this equals 20. Well, let's just double check and make sure. If this piece equals 20 and I've divided it up into 10 pieces, these are 10 equal pieces, which means this piece equals 20 and this piece equals 20 and 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 20. Well, if I add all these up, it should give me back to 200. So let's see. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. 120, 140, 160, 180, 200. It got me back to 200, which means that 1/10 of 200 equals 20. So 20 is 1/10 of 200. And that's how we can use this model to show our thinking and to solve our problem. So there you go. Those are the two answers for your third page on your study guide. Remember, come see me in the morning if you have any questions. Have a great afternoon.